Alan, bring us in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Batman Boxing Talk coming at you.
With another episode.
Coming at you.
We back!
Yep. Shout out to Sin City.
Sin City?
Yeah.
That's what? Vegas?
Nah, it's not
Hold
Vegas.
on. Sin City?
Yeah, Sin City.
What the hell is that?
Don't worry about it. They know who they are.
Who the hell is Sin City?
They know who they are.
I want to start the show.
Don't edit that out of you.
Alright,
I want to start the show with our condolences to the Patrick Day family.
Definitely,
Yeah.
man. Sad. I was watching that. Did y'all watch it? I was watching it live when it happened.
No, I didn't see
The
the
fight.
And
Yeah,
it's
I was watching it too because you sent it.
Yep.
Yeah, you sent the link.
Because I sent the link.
Yeah.
I sent the link.
I watched it.
But,
I want to,
But it's crazy because I was just saying like after he got hit, the referee was just looking like he was about to count. I'm like, bruh, you seen his head hit the back of his head hit the mat. Wave the fight off and get help early. Them 10 seconds could be the difference between life and death. And it takes me back to the Wilder and Fury thing because Jack Reese is getting a lot of praises for not stopping the fight. But had it been the other way around and Fury would have got up and was concussed and got hit again by Wilder with something big, and God forbid something like that would have happened to Fury, then nobody would be talking about Jack Reese being a good ref. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to take precaution. And Tyson Fury was asleep.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely, man, condolences to the Patrick Day family, man. I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram post them. I had never got a chance to see him until that fight.
Right.
And but the stuff that I've been hearing is, you know, he was a good kid. He was always happy. You know, he
love
didn't
boxing.
have to box.
Yeah.
Box because he wanted to.
Right.
And man, it's just sad when you know. But I mean,
It's a brutal sport though,
Yeah.
man. And it just that just goes to remind you how brutal it is, and you know how you can be here one day, going next in one punch, and it leads you into like what a lot of things that we've been mentioning like the last couple of weeks about, you know, fighters,
making sure they get paid the right way.
making sure they get paid and doing what's in their best interest, because you see stuff like this and you realize that, like you said, you can go in that ring one way and you can never come out again.
Right.
Or you could be a vegetable.
Right.
And everything else. But, and like us, the fans, like we're on here now and we're giving condolences to the Patrick Day family. But they lost someone that they're never going to see again. And if it was a situation where, like, you know, go back to any other fighter who's trying to make the best possible fight, or, you know, best thing so they can make money for their family in the future, and we're sitting there talking about as fans, well, you know, oh, you gonna fight him because you can make more money, but this is a tougher fight over here. But if that man gets brain damage from that fight, we just gonna talk about, oh, what a great fighter he was, but ain't nobody gonna be pitching in no goddamn money to go, you know, and take care of his medical bills and stuff like that. But
Did they have a GoFundMe? His family.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything, but I mean, from what I heard is his family was kind of well off with, like he said, he didn't have to box, but I mean, I'm not sure. I can try to figure out if he does or not.
Let me know. I'll look for it after we finish taping tonight.
But that's a lot of the reason why when y'all come from the fan aspect of things, I always come from a middle ground.
Right.
Because, I want to see the best fights, but I also try to put myself in that position and say, okay, now what would I do? Because I know for a fact I'm going to take what's going to pay me the most money. Because at the end of the day, them boxers don't, a lot of times we look at the Mayweathers and the Canelos and those guys who have permanent dates of when they can come back and they know they're going to make a certain amount of money. But the majority of these boxers don't make a lot of money. And not only that, they don't know when the next time they're going to make some money from boxing.
That's very true.
So it's like, you might fight in December, but then you might have to go a whole year before you get another payday again. So that's why I always talk the way I talk, where it's like, I don't blame these guys for trying to get the most money they can get or pulling out of a fight, because they not getting paid what they feel they should get paid. At the end of the day, I know for a fact I ain't gonna go to work and do extra work for the same amount of pay or for less pay. So I don't expect them to. But like I said, we all look at it as a sport and we forget that it's a business first.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, if you want to change it, right, you do it with your dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do it just by talking about them. You know what I'm saying? But yet, if they go do this fight that you don't want, but you still paying your money, what do you think they're gonna continue to do?
Right.
So if you want them to do that, you need to be supporting them. So when they do take that big fight, they are making their biggest payday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, against someone who's a higher risk, as opposed to being able to go and fight somebody else and make more money than it is this guy over here.
Right.
So you do it with your dollars and what you support.
Right.
But as a fighter, I'm not the one in there taking punches, so I cannot honestly. I mean, as a fan, I can tell you what fights I won.
Right,
We'll argue all day about that.
Right.
But you can't argue if somebody's doing what's best for them, business-wise.
Right.
You know, and then we got a lot of people. I'm gonna lead you into this. A lot of people calling out your boy Canelo Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want that smoke.
I mean,
They want to in the words of Brandon, they want to jump the line and skip the grind.
They want to jump the line and skip the grind.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't blame Charlo for calling out Canelo. I don't blame Andre for calling out Canelo or Golovkin for calling out Canelo, because it's no different than when Floyd Mayweather was the money man and everybody wanted to call out Floyd Mayweather. But the question for me is it because you want to be great, or is it because you're looking for a payday?
Absolutely.
You know, like,
that's the true question.
and the thing is, it's like, okay, Canelo only has one belt now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Andre has a belt. I haven't heard Charlo call out Andre until I still haven't heard him call him out. I've heard somebody ask him a question and he said, "Oh, well, you know, I would take that fight," but it's not at the level of I want Cinnamon. I want to fight. Everybody want to fight Canelo.
Well,
You got everybody at 160 want to fight Canelo. You got people at 47 that want to fight Canelo. You got people at 54 that want to fight. You got people all the way up to 75 that want to fight Canelo.
well, wait a minute. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that.
Why?
If you want to hold 3 belts at one time,
That ain't nothing to do with no belt. Because look, let y'all tell it. Canelo has not even a real world title at 68. Let y'all tell it. So it can't be for the belt. And like I said, if you talking about this for the belt, Andre got a belt. Charlo got a belt. Now Triple G got a belt.
Yeah,
so it can't be because it's for a belt.
well, Canelo's the money man. I mean, that's been throughout history. I mean, when we were kids, everybody wanted to fight Ray Leonard. And after Ray Leonard, it was Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, that's just the way it is.
And after that, it was Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
After that was Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, that's just like you said. That's the nature of the beast. That people gonna call out the money man. Look, now in the welterweight division is Earl Spence. When he was calling everybody out, and they act like he didn't exist.
Right.
Earl, who? You go get a belt.
But I don't blame them though.
But I know,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because at the end of the
yeah.
day,
I mean,
why I'm
when
about to fight a
yeah.
15-0 Earl Spence?
Exactly.
When I can go fight Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say that. Look, when he was calling out Keith Thurman at first, he was calling him out at 15-0, man.
Mhm.
Come on, man.
And this the thing,
Yeah,
to be honest, he didn't even call him out. People don't even remember. Keith Thurman was calling out Floyd Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather said, "I'll drop this belt." And I think it might have been the WBA.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'll drop this belt and let you and Earl fight for it. And if you beat Earl, you can fight me." Keith Thurman said, "I'm not tripping off of Earl Spence."
Mm-hmm.
So that right there lets you know it wasn't about the belt.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was about to come.
You know, it was about trying to skip the line.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They hopping the line, skipping the grind.
Yep.
You know, like, you can't, come on. And it's just like I said the other night. We have to be consistent. You can't sit up there and say, "Oh, Canelo." I'm sorry. You can't sit up there and say, "Bud Crawford, he ain't fought nobody at 47. Oh, his resume is kind of iffy at 40. It wasn't like it is now with with Regis Prograis and Maurice Hooker and all these guys at 140 now, and Bud has to up his resume at 47 in order to deserve an Earl Spence fight, which I understand why Earl doing what he doing, because he putting himself in a position to be able to take home the lion's share of money
Exactly.
when the fight do happen.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him. But you have to be consistent when you, like, why doesn't Charlo need to put some names on his resume at 160? Why should Canelo just throw Charlo a bone?
Absolutely.
You know, why should Canelo just throw Andre the bone? Andre has fought 3 people that we probably know on his resume. 3. Selecki, Willie Nelson, and Vanis Martirosyan.
I don't know what you talking about. You from here. You know he beat up Fox.
And Alantez Fox. But I'm talking about the average person. Probably know 3 people that's on his resume.
You know he fought Fox.
Yeah, and Alantez Fox was gunshot in that fight, which
I
at
think
6'5",
I think because he heard him early, he got gunshot.
that's true. But at 6'5", you know, he could have used this jab a lot better than he did.
He could have.
But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
The point that I'm making is you got to be consistent. And I agree. Bud does need to build the fight because that is a fight that could be a mega fight. If Bud was to fight Porter and look a little bit better than Earl did against Porter, that builds the fight. If Bud was to go fight,
you got to say Kell Brook.
A lot of people, you know what I'm saying?
Danny Garcia already got a date. Like Sean Porter, y'all need to get together like Sean Porter said. Because Kenny Porter said, you know, we want Bud Crawford. But then you put the camera in Sean's face, your son, and he said, well, me and Bud are friends. Bud already said y'all were friends. And y'all were both saying that y'all were friends before the damn fight. Now Sean saying, well, we and Bud have to sit down and talk before if we going to decide whether we want to fight each other or not.
But the thing
I think you need to fight. I mean, Bud, I know that's your friend. I mean, it's just my opinion.
He ain't even got to fight Sean, though. We keep saying Danny got a date. Earl and Bud fight a month apart from each other.
Yeah.
If Earl beats Danny Garcia, which I don't think it's going to be a brutal ass whooping like people think, I think all of those guys at 147 are close to each other as far as the matchups go.
I agree.
So I don't think none of those fights are going to be flat out dominant performances from one person or the other. Yeah, Earl edged it out against Sean, but that was still a tough fight.
Let me ask you this.
Hold on, let me finish before I forget. So if Danny Garcia loses to Earl Spence, what's wrong with Terrence Crawford fighting Danny Garcia while Earl Spence fights his mandatory for the IBF? Or, like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Wrong with it, but today it's like if you lose a fight, your career is over.
It doesn't matter though, because
I don't know why that is, but that's the way I see it.
Danny has already lost.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So all that does is give them common opponents to where as though you can see how they fare against the same person,
I would like to
which
see him
builds
fight
the
Kell
fight.
Brook.
You see what I mean? It's just like when Floyd Mayweather fought Ricky Hatton, Pacquiao turn around and fight Ricky Hatton. Floyd Mayweather fight Shane Mosley, Pacquiao turn around and fight Shane Mosley. It builds the conversation of the fight and makes it bigger.
Well, you know, and I'm gonna take a line from this young dude I know. Everybody wants to be
Money Mayweather,
but they don't want to be Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah, that's equivalent to jumping the line and skipping the grind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Jumping the line and skipping the grind.
Yeah, but
you know, like if it's a line out, you want to jump the line.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to sit back here.
Yeah, I ain't trying to wait for all y'all to get y'all kicks first, and then I get up there.
So I guess to you young boxers, go do some work.
But the thing is, I agree. Like I said, I agree that Bud needs to do something to build the fight because at this point you're dealing with 2 networks. So my thing is, why shouldn't Charlo have to fight Andre? Or why shouldn't Charlo... Come on now. Since Charlo has been at 160, Charlo has fought Sebastian Hyland. And I ain't going to talk about the leg shit because like I always say, once you step in the ring, that's your fault.
Right.
So he beat Sebastian Hyland. He beat Hugo Centeno. He beat Brandon Adams. And now he's fighting Dennis Hogan, who's 154 pounder.
154. How many of them were 154 pounders?
I think only Brandon Adams was 154 pounder, and then now Dennis Hogan is 154 pounder. But my thing is, like, that resume looks equivalent to Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, and Igor Kavalauskas or Green Machine or whatever the hell his name is.
I think Terrence Crawford is a little bit better.
And Terrence Crawford might be better. So it's like, you got to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo, and like I always say, y'all can disagree if y'all want to, but Canelo at this point don't need Charlo. Canelo is going to make $33 million regardless of whether it's a Charlo in front of him, a Fielding in front of him, a Kovalev in front of him, a me in front of him, a you in front of him.
And that's absolutely true.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't need to fight him. Of course, we as fans want to see him fight him because actually, I think that Canelo can beat these guys.
I think he can beat
him.
I mean, I think Andre poses more of a threat,
yeah,
than
because
Charlo.
of his awkwardness. But like I said, as far as I know that Charlo has one of the best jabs, in the middleweight division. Mm-hmm. He got a nice hard jab, but Canelo comes from an old school where me and you used to talk about this a long time ago, Alan, and maybe you even talked about it with your friends too, Brandon. He knows how to slip a jab.
He know how to slip it.
A lot of people don't these days. You know what I'm saying? You just throw jab, motherfuckers just keep hit. Mm-hmm. He knows how to slip a jab. You're not just going to beat him with a strong jab in a 1-2. You have to come with more than that.
Right.
Well, I guess
and I mean, it remains to be seen, but
and Kovalev.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. But
Kovalev ain't happened yet. But yeah, he showed that.
No, but I'm saying Kovalev got a hell of a jab. That's what I'm saying. Like Canelo, it's not like when you say, Charlo has a good jab. I mean, it's not that much better than if it's better than Golovkin's at all. It's not that much better.
Golovkin's timing though is his motherfucker, man.
Right, you know what I'm saying? It's not that much better than Kovalev's, and Kovalev is going to be hitting a little harder than I think Charlo is at 160.
He actually said he'll go up and fight Kovalev, but I mean, we are out of time, fellas.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. End this all by saying y'all gotta be consistent, man. I understand. Mm-hmm. Black people want to side with the black fans, and black fans want to side with the black fighters and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all boxing. When something like Patrick Day happens, it don't matter the color. You know what I'm saying? Like, that can happen to anybody, regardless of the race, the color, the style of fighter, whether you like them or not. At the end of the day, it's a sport. You know what I'm saying? So, if you really love the sport, speak your truths about the sport. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Black fighters have been through a lot. Black people in general have been through a lot, and it's harder for us. So I understand it. There's also a reality factor to it too. You know what I'm saying? But that's any. You want anything else y'all need to say before we close out?
Nah. Go ahead.
Work.
That's it, Alan.
That's it. Work.
Okay.
We out, man.
We out.